clean machine is a happy machine. Alright guys, so I might have found something. As you guys can see, I got a little setup here with the indicator and stand. I got it up against the bottom of the ATC, that plate where on the top side I was measuring that I had a gap, and then on one side I had no gap. I found something, I want to share it with you guys, so I'm going to set you guys up, but you can see right here, I got it set up, looks like it's maybe 93, yeah, looks at 93 right here. And this number isn't exactly important, this is just where I set it up and where the dial ended up. So we're going to say right there, it's at 93. Maybe just below that, but I'm going to set you guys up, and I'm going to rotate the ATC one pocket at a time, going all the way around, and I put this guy on here so we can get an idea of where it is in the path. But we're going to start here, we're going to go all the way around until we get back to here, and you'll see how much this swings back and forth. So here we go. So you can see there, it moved quite a bit, going all the way around. It looks like there might be some high spots or low spots. I haven't determined whether or not it's totally twisted, but yeah, I figured I'd share that with you guys. I think I might have to dig into this a little bit deeper. We're gonna have to maybe take that plate off, take those bolts out, and then whether it's not flat at all, or whether it's flat but just twisted, I might have to repair it somehow. So here we go. Alrighty guys, so I got some news. I called the guys over at FadalCNC, and they were able to help me out and give me some tips on what to look for. They said I most likely might have to adjust these to figure out the alignment horizontally, but they also said check the ATC spindle that goes up here, and so, and you guys can kind of see it. It's kind of dark, but it's back here. It's got bevel washers on there, but I've never taken this apart, and so I thought I could just take this panel off and kind of wiggle it in and then pull it out. But it looks like I gotta take this panel off, and to do that, you go around here, go up the ladder. That normally would slide up here. Well, as you can see on my machine, it's got a big piece of plexiglass on there, and it's got screws, you know, here, back there, and all the way around. And so to take that panel off, I gotta take this thing down here off, but to take this off, I gotta take this off. So looks like I got some work to do. I'll leave this stuff here because I gotta, once we fix everything with the Z-axis and the ATC, I'll button that up. But I gotta take all my notes off of there, clean up my rags, and I guess we're gonna get to work, and we're gonna take all these screws out, then take that panel out, and then take that small panel out, and then I can measure that shaft, and then hopefully it's straight. If it's straight, then I kind of did all this for nothing. Well, I guess not really. I still, I guess, learned something, but It's gonna be a lot of work just to check that one shaft, because they said that sometimes they've seen that small shaft for the ATC not be straight, because whether someone hit it with the Z-axis or something happened, a crash. So yeah, we're gonna have to do some work. So let's get to it. Well, that was actually kind of easy. Once I got the big plastic piece up here off, everything just came off. So you can see I got that panel off, and then this piece that I was kind of wiggling around, got wedged. It just came right off. So here's what I think the FadalCNC guys were talking about: is this shaft right here that goes straight down, say there, and if that's bent, which I don't imagine that being bent, maybe it's, you know, not straight, but even then that wouldn't cause my intermittent, you know, going back and forth. But we're gonna check it since we're here. This also allows me to get to some spots, you know, that I never got to when I did my initial machine cleaning. You can see over here, if we go back to the top of the panels, the plexiglass here, whoa, this was covered by the plexiglass, and so this never got cleaned. You can see if I rub my finger on there, you can kind of see a clean spot, but I'll definitely use some simple green. I got plenty more of it down there. I got the 1 gallon jug right behind the spray bottle, so I'll clean up that guy. Of course I can get the sides too. And then I got that guy, and clean the back side of that, because that was up underneath the panel. If you take a look over here, you can also see there is a bunch of the plastic stuff that was in the machine when I first got it. All these plastic, like Delrin shavings. There's a whole bunch of them up there. So I'm going to clean that off. And then one thing I noticed was this guy. I don't know what the heck this is. This was just laying up there in the track, and I just, you know, pulled it out. I'm hoping that this didn't contribute to anything, or maybe it did, and that's the reason why I'm crooked. But I doubt that, maybe. But I thought that was just kind of weird. This giant sliver of aluminum was just up here, resting in the channel up here where the rollers are. Oh. Going back to the first ATC video, turn the camera, this guy, that's the guy I was trying to show you guys. If you put a screwdriver, kind of wedge it in between here, and you kind of use this bolt as like a leverage point, you kind of push this forward, and once you can see it's starting to go now. Once you can see the door over there opening up. But you just use your screwdriver, and you can just start slowly pushing this forward. So that's just another FYI, or just a clearer picture of what I was trying to show you guys in the previous video. But yeah, there it is. Maybe I'll clean the back side of this. Ooh, that's ugly. Maybe I didn't want to look at that. All right. So here we are. I'm gonna go check that real quick, do some cleanup, and then we'll be back. More discoveries. Before we get to that, actually, you guys, I want to show off my amazing cleaning skills. You can see it's super clean up here on that rail. Clean up here. Got some nice clean panels over here, nice and shiny, look like giant teeth. But yeah, I discovered some more stuff. You can see here, I got my tense indicator. I don't need my tense indicator, but that's the only one that was attached to the mag base, so I just used it. But here's the shaft for the ATC, and although it isn't the cleanest part of the machine, I did try and clean it up with some WD-40. I measured it in more than one spot, but I want to show you guys. Hopefully you guys can see it. If I can adjust the camera right. Hold on. Hopefully guys you can see it. We'll adjust you guys over here. Alright. So right now we're about 1 thou, looks like, is where the indicator's at. And so I've measured this more than once. I've gotten the same swing amount. I just want to show you guys, that way, you know, it's documented, I guess. So you guys are set up here. I'm gonna go all the way around with the ATC, and you'll see how much it actually moves. And one disclaimer: everything up here is aluminum plate back there. This is aluminum. To stick the mag base up here, I had to stick it on the sheet metal. So I know that moves. You can see I can just get it to wiggle, but I've tried to, over here, I moved the monitor this way as close as I could. That way I could watch the indicator, but also just have my hand on the, whether it's counterclockwise or clockwise for the turret, and just sit here and not try and move anything, and just push, you know, this button without, you know, moving the machine. Because if you push over here, you can obviously see it over there on the indicator because it's attached through the sheet metal going all the way around and back up. So here you go. I'm gonna set you guys up. Hopefully get you guys aligned so you can see. All right, so we're still at right about 1 thou, and here we go. So that's right about, I think it might be one pocket, you know, too far or not enough, but you can see we're back down to 1 thou. It's swung all the way up to here to 3. And so I've measured it down here, and I also measured it up here, and I'm getting the same 4 thou swing. So I honestly didn't expect that. I thought that would be, you know, nice and straight. So now I don't know what to do. Do I need to, you know, take stuff off here, adjust the bracket for the pin, or because it's moving around, maybe it's, you know, bent, and so it's going around and you're getting low side and the high side because it's bent, which is really hard for me to understand why that would be bent. Well, I guess maybe if that's hollow, I can see a bolt up here. But yeah, maybe I need to call some more people. Dang it, that's not what I expected. So yeah, thought I'd share that for you guys as well as for myself in the future, that way I could document it. And I'll be back once I find something out. Stay tuned. Alright guys, I'm back. So I reached out to FadalCNC. I also posted my questions here to the Fadal Facebook group. So I got some answers there, and then I also sat and thought about what I wanted to do, and I think I'm gonna jump right into it. But before I do that, I want to show you guys what I found out. So maybe it's helpful for someone else, but we're gonna do a little quick. I'm gonna set you guys up here. So over on FadalCNC, if you go down to here, I went down to the parts manual, standard series, this section, which has my machine, which is a VMC 15. I went over there, and this manual comes up, or parts list, and if you look, you can see here's the actual tool changer, and if I scroll up, you see the Geneva Drive ATC assembly. You can see down here, there's the little the pallet where everything sits, or all the tools go into, and then you got the Geneva Drive mechanism up there, and then you can see that there's this rod that goes through. That's the spindle part that sticks up, and you get all of these the bevel washers up here. Everything all gets, you know, clamped together. So I think looking at that is item 41. So I went down and all right here, 41. ATC 27. I went and looked that up. Looks like it's about $300 for that guy. So looking at that, and then looking at this, it looks pretty straightforward. I just got to unbolt things. You can see the plate down here, the plate underneath the platter. I just unbolt that, and things might just start coming apart, or just slowly unbolt things as I get through to get that center spindle out. So I'm going to do that. But one thing I did notice was here in the Automatic Tool Changers manual. What page are we on? We're on page 10. So we go up here. Yeah. So if we go back down to page 10, I noticed this thing. All the bevel washers, this is for the 21 tool changer ATCs. I noticed that here it says for the bevel washers you have 3, you know, concave and 3 convex, and you squeeze them together, and you have what, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you have 4 on top, 4 below that middle bracket, and then over on this, on the heavy duty 30 tool changer ones, you have 4 and 4 compared to 3 and 3. I noticed when I looked at my machine, and this is just for my own documentation, just to show you guys maybe something that you might want to look into, is over here. I don't know how easily you can see it with the lighting, but I got what, 1, 2 groups of 4. So there's 2 concave, 2 convex that are pushed together, and I got that 1, 2, 3, 4. There's, it looks like a bunch of, there's like 3 of them right there. So it's not exactly as the manual pictures it. So I'm wondering if this has actually been worked on before, or if that is causing any of the issues that I'm seeing where it's not straight, you know, that portion of the rod. But yeah, I'm gonna jump into this. So first I'm gonna, I guess, clear off that, but let's get to it. Alrighty, quick update over here. This is the platter that came out of the machine. Here's that centerpiece that holds it up into the actual carousel, or that retains it. So if you saw in the video, I was very cautious on over here. I'll give you an undercarriage look. That's the place where it mounts. And you got the Geneva wheel right here. So in the video, you probably saw me, I was being really careful. I was unscrewing the last bolt here, because I wasn't sure how heavy that platter was, and if it was going to be too heavy to hold, or what to expect, because I also had the tool in there too. I'll take that out now. even though it's in backwards. Ah, there we go. All right, so yeah, I was kind of relieved when I could just hold it. It was actually still stuck in there when I took the last bolt out. That was in here, and I basically just with both arms held up underneath the under this platter and kind of wiggled it, and it kind of just dropped right out. It was nice and light, so that was good. So we're gonna keep going. So we're gonna probably take something else apart. Maybe I'll go look at the manual quick, but let's keep going. Well, there you have it. Here's the spindle out of that guy. You got the Geneva wheel over here. Actually, let me put this down real quick. I found out I got a lot more stuff to clean up now that I have access. You know, all this stuff on top that I cleaned out of the machine. Got all that gunk up there to clean out. And then, of course, the top of the ATC carousel that was hidden up underneath the umbrella. That, of course, needs to get cleaned out. But I got this guy out. Oops, sorry. I noticed a few things. You can see here. Here it's shiny here and it's shiny here, which corresponds to the bearing that's right in here and the bearing that's in this guy. But one thing I noticed is that the bearing, or this surface, it's shiny down here, or more shiny down here than it is up here. So it makes me wonder if, you know, if it is bent and it's just rolling around and that's the high spot that's hitting the bearing on the side. Kind of similar, this is maybe more uniform. But I of course don't have a lathe here. I would have, you know, I got that little tiny guy that I could maybe, nah, it's probably too small. But I know a guy, and I think I want to chuck this up on a lathe to actually see how not straight it is. I'll probably chuck it up on here, and then there's indents on either side to put a center on there. So I want to check that out, but you know, I think I'm done here, at least for tearing it down. So I know this video is getting kind of long. Next step probably will be, after I figure out how straight or not straight that is, I might replace that. I know on the Facebook group some guys said that you could bend it back because this is apparently soft. So maybe I'll do that, but I figured I'll just leave it here. Thanks for following along. I got plenty of work to do now as far as cleaning up and checking stuff. But once I get all that done, then we will put it all back together and get an ATC working and have it nice and flat and be able to load tools and not have any issues. So thanks again for following along. If you haven't already, subscribe, like this video, or follow me on Instagram. I post more on there. But I look forward to keep going and get this machine in tip-top shape. So, see you guys next time. Bye. Alrighty guys, so before I let you guys completely go, I got an update to tell you guys. So, Results are in for checking this guy as well as checking that guy. So for the spindle for the ATC, if I turn it over, I'll show you guys. I put it between two centers. I got that guy right there, and of course the indent on this side, those little countersinks. And I put them between two centers, and then I spun it around to go try and find, you know, high and low sides. And so what I found out is you can, some of my marks kind of rubbed off, but you can see here, here's where I put the indicator to check, you know, the high and low spot here, high and low spot here. You can see I checked some right there, and I think a few down over here. Kind of rubbed off on the bearing surface here. But one thing I did mark was also the high spot. And you can see where I put the high spot was where I put the horizontal line. So high spot here, high spot there, high spot. So all along here is the high spot at whatever diameter or section I checked. So if I go over to my little notepad paper, where I checked it, this is actually wrong. That's actually on the bearing surface here. I guess wrote it wrong. But you can see on the outsides, it's a little bit lower. So I got 2 thou over here, as far as the highest mark, and then a 3 thou, 4.5, 6.5, 5. And this is right in that area where the bearing surface is. Or no, maybe it's over here. Let's grab this paper. Okay, so it is this section. It's actually that's the same section I checked when it was up there in the machine in between here. So that kind of corresponds to what I found in the machine. But what this shows me is that with all these high spots here, it's kind of it's shaped like a banana. And that's exactly what I was guessing or thinking that, you know, was happening because of this wear and because it was kind of, you know, funky in the machine when I was measuring here. So that's that. I did try and straighten out a little bit with a arbor press, but I didn't have, you know, the best results. I really didn't get anything out of it. So I think I'm just gonna, you know, bite the bullet. I'm gonna replace this guy. And then the other thing I was wondering about is the actual carousel, that plate. So what I did here was I got some 1, 2, 3 blocks set up on my vise. Should be flat. But I basically checked a few points. I checked this way, so I checked the point here, here, and then I went in the x-axis here and here. And so what I just try to do is try and get a reading of, you know, if it's warped or if it's flat. And so those results are, you can see here, sorry I drew it in pencil, it's kind of hard to see. But so I got 0.1, 0.2, I got 0.3 and the 0.4. And so for each point, you can see over here, I got the indicator. I just, you know, brought it up and then brought the Z down and touched over there, touched over here, touched over there, touched over there. And so after each time, I wrote down the X, Y, and Z axis positions that I saw on the screen. So I did all that, and then I did some calculating. So between 1 and 2, which is this front, this is the Y-axis direction, I got my delta was 0 in the X, which is good. I didn't move it in the X at all. I just went back and forth in the Y. So that was 10.756 is my number. And then the Z deviated, you know, 0.6. Pretty dang good. And then points 3 to 4, that's the X-axis measurement. X, I went almost 14 inches, so that's 13.901 inches. didn't move in the Y at all, and then that was out by about 3.5 thou. So that's not, you know, the best, but it's definitely certainly close enough for, you know, I think an ATC. Oop, wrong way. Sorry. So I'm thinking this. I'm gonna say this is good. You know, the only other thing I would want to check was maybe the clamps or the springs in each pocket, but I can save that for another day. My main concern is getting this guy back up and running. Sorry, I'm getting crazy with this button. It's crazy. So onward and upward. This is the end of the video now. We're gonna end the video now, but I'm gonna replace this guy, and then we're gonna rebuild all that. Oh, also one thing too. Bevel washers. I'm wondering what the spec is for, you know, I know over time these get more and more flat. You can see this, you know, visually maybe this looks more flat. I'm wondering, is there kind of, has anyone used a certain depth or, you know, thickness, I'll say, you know, from the high spot down to the low spot? Kind of check to see, okay, how flat is too flat, and, you know, how much spring do you want in your bevel washers, or bevel springs, if you want to call them that. So yeah, just a question I got. Either way, thanks for following along, guys. Hopefully I will get this guy in, get all this stuff back together, and we'll have a working ATC. So thanks, guys. See you guys next time. Bye.